the situation has shifted again. Trump has decided to shut Zelensky out. Zelensky will not be invited to the US-Russia meeting in Alaska this Friday. According to Trump, Zelensky can participate in a subsequent meeting with Putin, or a three-way talks with Trump also present. But in any case, Zelensky is very likely to be left out of this meeting. In addition, Trump publicly criticized Zelensky's stance of refusing to cede territory for peace. Zelensky insists that Ukraine's constitution does not authorize him to cede territory, and amending the constitution would be required for any territorial concessions. Trump, however, questioned, none of these issues existed when Zelensky started the war, so why are they necessary now? Combined with U.S. Vice President Vance's earlier view that a ceasefire agreement would be based on the current situation on the Russia-Ukraine conflict front, Washington has most likely made plans to have Ukraine recognize the status quo. Watching the U.S. and Ukraine fall out again, Russia has spotted an opportunity. Moscow has ordered the Russian military to step up its offensive, preparing to deliver a fatal blow to Ukrainian forces while the situation is in its favor. According to reports from Ukrainian media, Russian troops are now launching a full-scale offensive in the Donbas direction. The fiercest battles are taking place in areas including the Donetsk urban agglomeration where Ukrainian forces are concentrated, with strongholds such as Krasnohorivka and Kostiantynivka being encircled by Russian troops. Ukrainian defense lines are constantly being breached. Russian troops have also opened up key transportation routes, advancing rapidly along Ukraine's highways and other routes. Russian infantry units are continuously infiltrating Ukrainian settlements to expand their frontline positions. Ukrainian military think tanks claim that the current situation is extremely chaotic, as loopholes in Ukraine's defense have been exposed to Russian forces, who immediately seize the opportunity to exploit them. Currently, various Ukrainian combat brigades deployed on the front line, for some reason, always emphasize that the situation is under control and even frequently claim to have eliminated all invaders. However, in reality, Ukrainian combat personnel stationed on the front line, having witnessed the presence of Russian soldiers firsthand, do not view the current situation optimistically. A series of signals released by the White House before Putin's meeting with Trump are clearly more favorable to Moscow. Therefore, Russia is now seizing the opportunity while Ukraine is vulnerable, taking advantage of the United States' pressure on Ukraine to strive for capturing more Ukrainian territory in one fell swoop. Although, based on the current situation, Russian troops may not be able to force Ukrainian forces to completely withdraw from Donetsk. If Ukrainian troops cannot hold onto key cities like Krasnohorivka, this will become a bargaining chip at the negotiating table. Zelensky is now facing pressure not only from Russia. The United States has closed its door on him, leaving Ukraine with no room to retreat. The repeated hints and statements from the White House and Washington have sent a clear message: the United States wants Ukraine to cede territory for peace. Moreover, Vance has stated that the United States' aid to Ukraine has been completed, and it may wash its hands of the matter next. If Ukraine still refuses a ceasefire, it will have to fend for itself. Regarding Zelensky's current predicament, U.S. Congressman Luna believes that Zelensky is actually 100% obedient to Trump. So, if Putin indicates that Russia agrees to a ceasefire and tells Trump when it can happen, Trump will immediately instruct Zelensky on what kind of concessions Ukraine must make on territorial issues. On the surface, Zelensky can choose to obey or refuse, but in reality, there may only be one option: to obey. As for the reason, Luna has pointed out that Ukraine is overly dependent on the United States, and this is a reality that is difficult to change.